I'm a postdoctoral researcher at the IEC group at FIZ Karlsruhe, and I'm also a coordinator of the Leibniz Science Campus DiTraRe. And my path will be probably quite interesting because it started early. So I was already quite good at maths when I was in school. Already at the 5th, 6th grade, I was winning competitions. And then in the middle school, I was even much better because, things were getting very concrete. So I was really winning the competitions in the whole city where I live. So in the last year of my middle school, I won maths. But the science nature, I really wanted all of these competitions.
Yeah, wow.
And it was enough to only win in one. So I was like, the teachers were really impressed. Well, I didn't sort of expect that, but I just liked it.
Yeah.
In the middle of my middle school, I was thinking, what do I want to do in life? I was like, 13, 14. And I was like, okay, so I like maths. I like all these physics and everything. I was like, okay, I'll be an astronomer.
So yeah, that already started this yes. early.
And I think my inspiration was my physics teacher. I was sitting at night with this map and like, okay, so this is this time, this is this.
Yeah.
And it just fascinated me so much that I just came to high school, and on the very first classes of this astronomy faculty, I just came to the teacher and said, hey, I want to study astronomy. I want to become an astronomer.
Yeah. Did you ever experience any bias because you were a girl and people telling you that girls are not as good in maths or physics as boys are?
Maybe not very explicitly, but there was a lot happening between the lines. In the middle school, that was the time when I was really the best in everything, and it was a horrible time in my life, really, because no one wanted to talk to me. Everyone thought that I'm only sitting at home and reading books, and I definitely did no dating in the time when all my friends were doing dating, telling me about, first kiss, first boyfriend, and everything. Yeah. And no one even talked to me at all, and people were reporting me like this. Boys did not talk to me at all. I really was the weirdo. I only had friends from my dancing group, but these were girls only. Concerning also the boys, there was another competition that was actually made for high school, but I took part already in middle school. And in the second year, I was 5th. And in my third year, I won it completely, and I broke the record of this competition. And it was also for Poland and Germany because it was in German border.
Right. Okay.
So there were guys, mostly boys from German schools and Polish high schools. So they were 3 years older than me, and they could not stand it that I won it. Really, the faces that they had was I also got some extra award for the youngest. Just the way that they looked at me even was enough for me to really feel bad. So that was a horrible time in my life. That's also why I was very happy to go to this #1 high school, because it was in a big city. It was Szczecin, and no one knew me there. And I could start from zero, from scratch, and also I was not the best anymore. And concerning also these female-male, differences and perspectives, so I was in maths, physics, and astronomy, and indeed there were more boys there. But I have to say that I always liked it. I always liked it because the men are, it's like the whole masculine energy. You are concentrated on task, on solving the equation, solving the problem, and this is what maths and physics is about. And definitely in my high school, I never experienced anything from the boys, the ones from my groups, that they would be like, oh, she's a girl, she won't manage it. It was nothing like this, but they were really high culture people, I would say. Yeah. Who had some different perspectives on life, so I don't know how it would be in different environments. Yeah. It was definitely very positive. Studying concerning all these kind of biases, it was still more male dominated society, if I can say, faculty of physics. But there it was everything very good. We never had any problems with boys. The only moment that I remember was coming from a professor, and it was not directed to me personally, but it was directed to the best of us girls. She was really great in physics. She was able to solve some things that I didn't even have any idea on how to touch it. Yeah. And the professor once, during an oral exam, because we had all exams in oral and written form, and once told her that she probably came to the faculty of physics to find a husband.
Right.
And it was one of the strongest things that ever happened. And I cannot comprehend how someone can say this to her. This is just so stupid, because why wouldn't women also be able to make career in science?
Absolutely.
Be good in science, have this kind of a brain that's working in this analytical way.
Yeah, of course.
See any reason why not.
Can you talk little bit about your experiences about being a mother in academia, and how that maybe also changed your perspective?
Well, so I decided to get married and have my first kid when I was starting my PhD studies, so right after master's studies.
Mm-hmm.
I already had 2 publications of which I was a co-author, but publish or perish. So
Yes.
it's all publications.
Yeah.
So when I was pregnant, I wrote 2 really long papers on my own studies, which I published. And I could really, then I felt like, okay, I can have the maternity leave now. But my maternity leave only lasted for, I think, 3 or 4 months.
That's short.
That's very short, yes. So me with my now ex-husband had this idea that he will actually be taking care of the kids in home, so-called, and I will be working, because from my salary we could make a living. And also, I wanted to pursue the career. I just found it very exciting and interesting and everything. It was surprising for many people, indeed, that I only took such a short maternity leave. It felt sometimes as if everyone was assuming that I will be out now, that I'm just gone and I won't be doing anything. No more research, no more papers.
So they assumed that as soon as you became a mother, you would stop being a scientist.
Well, it was never said this way, and I also I don't address it to the people with whom I was working, because they were really professional. But I did have this feeling sometimes somewhere around that people, or they were supposed, oh, you had a kid and you wrote these papers. Well, I was quite limited concerning attending conferences, because it's not so easy anymore. So I had to spend a lot of my private funds to pay for my husband and my son to go with me. So I had to just spend a lot of my private money that were coming with me wanting to pursue scientific career. So of course, having to publish, having to then present these results to as many conferences as possible, and of course only international conferences count. So I was traveling a bit around Europe with my family, which was in some way fun, but in some way very stressful, because you have a talk and then your kid wakes up 10 times at night and you go there like half alive. And I also didn't want to use this excuse like, oh, I'm a mother, my kid, blah blah. But I think this should be a valid excuse.
Absolutely.
It really should be, and we should include it in the, generally speaking, science, because just when a woman becomes a mother, it doesn't mean that she will not be a scientist anymore. It maybe means that she won't be so flexible, that she won't be able to finish that paper on Friday evening or something like this.
Yes.
But she has valid reasons, and we should listen to that. We should include these reasons in our, ear.
So I guess that this is also something that you would want to tell young women who are pursuing a career in academia, and maybe specifically astrophysics.
I would love to tell them that, but my first thing would be the memory of me being in the high school or being a student, and all of these events, like girls to maths, girls to physics, girls to science, blah blah, come and study, come and join us, there's place for you, everything, and I was like, wow, I'm in heaven, I'm accepted, and everyone, people don't have problems with the fact that I'm a woman and these kind of things. And only many years later, I got really angry at this, because I couldn't continue the way that I wanted because of how the system looks like. And maybe now I can tell a bit more about my story. So I came here to Germany for my postdoc in Heidelberg University, and after 4 years, I found myself in a situation of being a single mom with 2 kids, and there was no way of moving. And astrophysics, there are not that many astrophysicists in the world, so I didn't have that many choices actually, especially if I didn't want to completely changed the specific area in which I was an expert already, and I didn't want to. I was very fascinated about what I was doing. But honestly, me alone with 2 kids, really struggling back then with a lot of problems, including financial, mental, and these kind of things.
Yeah.
And also knowing that the kids are small and they would require really many months to get used to new conditions, new friends, new place, and this will be all on me only.
Yeah.
There was no way I could, afford it, looking into resources in a very broad context here. And I was very angry that I had to quit astrophysics, actually, because of this.
I get that.
I had to, and I mean, I will always consider myself an astrophysicist, but in some way this is really a pity that I cannot continue what I love to do, what I already devoted so many years of my life to do and to become an expert, and I cannot continue only because the system is
what it is.
And I really got angry at all of these things advertising, hey, women, come here, study astronomy. Like, why? Why, if I end up then having to leave it? Having to, because the system really prioritizes people who get more points, and of course only people who never go to maternity leave or never have to move with kids and cut yourself out of the business for a few months, they have much higher chances of doing things. Of course, this is completely incomparable, so definitely the system is not suitable for this. But yeah, it is fun. It can be fun for women as well. Whatever kind of branch of research a woman finds interesting, she should just go for it, because I think you should follow your heart. Every ending is a new beginning, and I took it this way. I took it this way, that okay, so now I'm ending it, and after having cried for a month, I started thinking, okay, so this is now demolished, the castle that I've built, but now I have a lot of free space to build something new. I just want to say, I think that to every woman, a message that it's fine if you don't feel like having kids. You don't have to. Don't let society tell you that you have to do something that you don't feel like doing. Because you should follow your heart, you should follow what you feel like doing. I did what I wanted to do, and I'm happy, although and I want to say it now openly, I had many moments when I regretted having kids. I know that some mothers would be like, oh, how can you say this? Yes, I can say this. I did have many moments when I regretted it. I'm working hard on actually seeing how much they add to my life, because they really do. But the way that I was treating myself so badly, I was spending my energy on things that were not making me grow. It was my issue that I am now overcoming, and I'm getting up from this. But really follow what you feel like doing. There is nothing that you have to. You can do everything, but you don't have to.